So we have roughly a year. That's right, 1 year. Well, about 6 to 8 months to be precise, until the whole economy enters a recession. I know, I can't predict the future, I can't time the markets, it's impossible. So how the heck can I make a statement like that in 6 to 8 months from now, you better get prepared, you better be ready, because the economy and the entire market will enter a recession. So that's what I want to tell you about. I want to tell you how I can know things like that, because I can't see the future. I'm not talking to some fortune teller that said, hey, warn everybody, 6 to 8 months. The facts are simple. All we need to do is go back in time and look at what's happened, and that's what I want to explain today. My name's Chris Naugle, and this is What Now? What's next for the economy? So 6 to 8 months, it's not that long, is it? Really, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, we got spring right now because we're in May, and then it goes right into summer, and I'm in Buffalo, New York, so it gets nice here in the summer, and time flies. I know every single summer I'm like, oh my God, where did summer go? I mean, do any of you relate to that? Summer comes and summer goes, and then what happens? We enter fall. And then after fall, we enter the winter season. That's right, and in Buffalo, we know what the winter season means. But in the grand scheme of things, we also enter the election season, because 2024 happens to be an election year. That's right. You've got 3 parties running. You've got an independent, a Republican, and a Democrat. I shouldn't need to tell you who they are. And all 3 of them are at arms, ready to win the presidency of the United States of America. And you know, I don't know how you swing on this one, but we need things to change. I mean, the economy has been booming, right? So all of you think, oh, we should just keep doing things the way they are. But why is the economy booming? It isn't booming because the things you think. It isn't booming because things are great, because things aren't great. Inflation's been a bit of a problem. I just saw a report the other day that said eggs have gone up 101%. And then I looked at chicken. I don't eat chicken, but some of you do. Chicken went up 60%. And across the board, the average amount of food increase was 48%. How's that? Is that hurting American families? Because it is. It's taking more dollars just to afford to live. Housing has gone through the roof. I don't care whether you're a renter or an owner, it's very expensive. Everything has gone up, but your wages have not. I mean, your wages may have gone up a little bit, but not enough. So when you think the economy is doing great because you see it in the news and it shows the stock market's been going up, oh, another winning 7-day streak, you think, oh, everything's okay. But then for some reason, there's just no money in the bank. You got no money to afford the lifestyle that you used to be able to live, and things seem to be okay. But yet on the other side of the coin, you got your debts, your credit cards, and all those skyrocketing. So at a certain point, it's like a pendulum. One's got to give way to the other. Well, let's get back to why I can tell you that in 6 to 8 months, we will be in a recession. And here's where it starts. Presidential elections. Let me pull this up. Matter of fact, I'm going to show this to you. So right here, I want you to look at all these presidential elections. We can go back the past 5 presidencies from Clinton all the way to Biden, and we can just look at the trajectory, and we can look at exactly what happened. Now, it's pretty interesting if you look at these charts. If we go into these charts and you're looking at them, you can see any president running for a second term, you can see the markets are usually up. Check it out. I mean, we got that with Biden, we got that with Bush, we got that with Clinton. All of them, when you were looking at that second term right before the election, the stock market was going up. Now, you could say it's coincidence, but you know what? How many more presidencies do we need to go back and look at to see that it's not a coincidence? And I have talked about this in so many videos showing you this is a cyclical pattern. Everything in the economy and in the markets is a pattern. And what we're doing is we're entering a winter season. We're entering a different cyclical pattern. And what is that marked by? Well, let's just look at the inverted yield curve. I mean, it's been inverted for quite some time. But some of you are like, well, what the heck is that, Chris? Well, it's simple, all right? Let's just say you got a couple bucks and you wanna lend that money out, but you want the absolute safest thing you can lend on. Well, you could lend money to the United States government. They've never, ever defaulted on a single debt. So if you lent money to the government, you have to decide how long do you want to lend money to the US government for? You might say, well, I don't know, things are a little rocky. This Chris guy's saying, the economy could enter a recession in 6 to 8 months. So I don't know, maybe I just want a 2-year bond, okay? You put your money in a bond, you lend money to the government for 2 years. You're going to be paid a really good interest rate. Matter of fact, you're going to be paid more on that 2-year bond than you would if you lent the United States government money for 10 years. Now, think about that. Do you think there's more risk in a 10-year bond or a 2-year bond? 10-year, right? Because it's a longer duration. Plus, don't you think lending money on a longer bond would pay you more? Well, it should, shouldn't it? But when the yield curve is inverted, you actually make more on the 2-year bond than you do on the 10-year bond. It makes no sense. But if we go back in time, we look at this, the inverted yield curve has always been a predictor of recessions. Matter of fact, every single time it is inverted, what followed was a recession. So forget about all these presidents and those charts that I just showed you, showing that yes, every president looking, at least the last 5 presidencies, looking for their second term, the market's been up. Could it just be manipulation? Could it be speculation? Could it be some hocus pocus, magic going on? I don't know. But all I can tell you is when we look at the inverted yield curve, the past presidencies, we look at where we're at in the economic cycle, we look at inflation and what's happening to inflation, we look at all the signs, it all points one place. And right here, recession is where it points to. Hopefully I spelled that right. Recession. That's right. Now, I didn't say depression because that would be a bit drastic, but I can certainly tell you that what's going to happen is eventually we're going to be in a recession. But I'm sure none of you care about the inverted yield curve. None of you care about the past presidencies. All you want to know is, what does this have to do with me? Right? Well, let me tell you what this has to do with me. I mean, you. It has everything to do because you've got enough time, you've got a long enough runway to get prepared. So what does prepared look like? Well, it can look a lot like this right here. See it? It says subscribe. And there's a little bell. Yep. Oh! Whoa! It can look just like that. Yeah, you can knock the socks out of this recession by being prepared. Just like you can get subscribed to this channel so that you know every time I'm putting a new video out. But let's just talk about one other video. It's really, really important that I bring this up. You see, I did a video back, it feels like a long time ago, called 2025. 6 to 8 months puts us in 2025. Matter of fact, it puts us in May of 2025, the spring, right after a new president is elected. Whoa. All right, so that's a lot of time to get prepared, a lot of time to get ready for the spring season, but we have to go through a winter season before you get there. So let's digress. What could you do to get prepared? What could you do that would prepare you for a similar situation to other recessions? Because if you think of other recessions, like, I don't know, go back to the Great Recession, what would have been some things you would have wanted to have prior to the recession? Well, let me think. Prior to the 2008 Great Recession, I would have wanted to have some money in the bank so that I could take that money and buy assets for a lot less. I could have bought stocks a lot less. I could have bought real estate super inexpensive. Because, I mean, during a recession, everything goes down in price, right? So if everything's down in price, that means that everything is like rollback over there at Walmart. It's double rollback day, if that's what they call it. You could go in and you could buy at a huge discount, but you can't buy if you don't have what? Money. Oh, but some of you are thinking, I'll just get a loan. Oh, I'll just use my credit card. No, you won't. Because if you lose your job, there's not a credit card company out there going to give you a credit card. Matter of fact, they're going to scale your credit cards back. And when we enter a recession, lines of credit that you're so used to using, yeah, they're going to probably freeze those or at least scale the amount back. Because if your real estate drops in value, do you think the bank's going to just keep your HELOC where it was? Heck no. I've seen it happen firsthand. They reduce the amount. You see, the banks are smart, and the banks control your money because you allowed them to. You took your money from your paycheck and you put your money in their bank. And in doing that, you gave them control. They are in control. And let me give you an example. When you put deposits in the bank, does the bank give you a call and say, hey, bank, you got a loan you want to make? What, can you tell me a little bit about it? Oh, that sounds really good. Wow, that's a good interest rate. Oh, wow. Really? That's what they do for, oh yeah, why wouldn't we lend? Yeah, go ahead, yeah, you can lend my money out to them, sure. Okay, great, thanks for calling. Let me know the next opportunity. Is that what the bank does? Do they call you and ask your permission on where your deposits can go? Heck no, they don't call you. It's because they don't have to. Because you signed a piece of paper saying, hey, I'm gonna give you my money and you can do whatever you want with it because you're in control, Mr. Bank. So, if you wanted to take advantage of some opportunities during a recession, and if we think or know there's going to be a recession sometime 6, 8, 12 months from now, wouldn't you want to have some cash set aside for that? Heck yeah. All right, what would be some other things you could do? Well, how about multiple income? Remember I mentioned a couple seconds ago that it's probable that a lot of people are going to lose their jobs? Little fun fact that when there's a recession, there's less demand for goods and services. Companies slow down, profits dwindle, and therefore they don't need as many employees. So a lot of layoffs. Yeah, well, you've seen that happen. So if for some reason someone happened to get laid off, well, they're not going to be able to get credit cards. They're probably not going to be able to get new lines of credit, and they're probably not going to have a lot of disposable income. So wouldn't it be good if that person that just got laid off had a secondary income, like a little side hustle? Yeah, I mean, find something that you know, that you like, and that you understand, and start earning extra income doing that. Just find a way to make money a second place, maybe even a third place. So if one goes away, doesn't matter, you fall back on the second one. As a matter of fact, then you know what you got? You got some extra time to put into that second income stream so you can build that to be even bigger. That's probably what you should be doing anyway, because working for the man is probably not as good as working for yourself. Just saying. All right, so we just covered two things so far. Have some extra money saved up for opportunities. Have an extra income stream or two so that if one ends, you got a second one. But let's hit the third and most important thing, in my opinion. But I don't think it's really so much of an opinion. I think it's actually more of a fact. How about debts? Going in, let me ask you all, okay? And you guys can comment this below. Do you think it's better to have a bunch of debt going into a recession or less debt going into a recession? A or B? You said less debt, right? And well, how about let's do C? No debt? Yeah, right. So B or C would be the proper answer. We want little to no debt going into a recession. But here's the best thing. Don't just start spending all your money paying down debt. Let's change the way you pay down debt. You see, that's exactly what I teach. I teach people how to build wealth through their own debts and expenses. What if I could take care of 1 and 2 by just doing number 3? What if we could just pay down debt, and by paying down debt, I create a secondary income which then allows you to save more money? Wouldn't that be pretty freaking cool? Well, that's exactly what I can teach you how to do. Build wealth through your own debts and expenses. Now, I don't have time to get into that today, but if you want more about that, then again, click that subscribe button and watch one of the debt paydown videos that I've done, and I'll show you how to build massive amounts of wealth and create extra income for your family without working harder, longer, or taking on any risk. All right, let's go into bonus round as we kind of come to the end of this video. Bonus round is, number 1, we need more savings. Number 2, we need multiple income streams. Number 3, we want little to no debt, and we want to build our wealth through our debts and expenses. And number 4, current assets that you have. current invested assets. You probably have money in a retirement account, a 401k, maybe even a brokerage account. And because the market's been so good, because hey, well, it's a president going for a second term, so revert back to the chart. See the chart right there? Yep. See that? Every single time the market went up, and what happened after that? Yeah, that little red line, yeah, that's the market going down. So if we're making a bunch of money in stocks, here's my suggestion. Don't assume that's going to continue. So Warren Buffett says it best. He said the best way to make money in the markets is to buy low, sell high, and don't lose money. But let's just focus on sell high and don't lose money, because those two are what you can do right now. Look at your 401k portfolio, look at your brokerage account, look at your IRAs, look at anything you've got money in the investment world. Are you up? Are you making money right now? Do you have any winners in there? Winner, winner, chicken dinner? That's right. Sell the winners. That's right, and reposition the assets into safe assets. Maybe a cash management, maybe a stable value, maybe some of those treasury bonds I was talking about earlier. Some place where that money is going to be safe. Yes, you're not going to make as much, but hey, making not as much is way better than losing a whole bunch. Would you agree? Making just a little bit, or even if you just lost no money, wouldn't that be better than losing a bunch? Ask anyone that if in 2008, when the whole Great Recession kicked in, if they would have rather be in cash making zero versus being in the stock market losing 30 to 40%, which would they choose? I'll bet you 100% say, I wish I was in savings making zero versus being anything in the markets, because making nothing is better than losing a bunch. Would you agree? So those are the 4 suggestions I have for getting ready. Get ready for the party, right? You don't go out to the club, you don't go out to the party without getting dressed, right? Did you just roll out of bed and walk into the club? I mean, some of you in today's world are probably like, yeah, actually, that's exactly what I do. I roll out of bed and I just walk right into the club. Well, I bet you're probably walking out of the club alone if you're doing that. So most people would get ready. They would do their hair, put their makeup on, the ladies would get all prettied up, and they would go to the club. I need you to get ready for the party. That's all. I just need you to get ready. Because if you're ready, you're gonna have a heck of a good time at the party, and I bet you if you're single, you're not coming home alone. Yeah, woo! All right, so remember those 4 steps. You want to save more money so that you have money for the opportunity, for the big show. Number 2, to save more money, we gotta have multiple income streams, because hey, if the person you met at the club really likes you, you're probably gonna wanna tell them, hey, I got this income stream and that income stream and this income stream and I'm doing well. And then number 3, you probably don't want a whole bunch of debt or any debt, so let's build our wealth through our debts and expenses. And number 4, I'm just gonna revert to Mr. Warren Buffett, buy low, sell high, and don't lose money. If you follow those 4 steps, folks, you are ready for anything that comes your way. Well, almost anything, but you're definitely ready for that R word, the recession word. So folks, I don't know how you're feeling about this year, 2024, but over here, we're feeling pretty darn good because we got ready for the party. We got prepared for the party. We might have got prepared a little early, but hey, I read this somewhere, but it said, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. I don't know, and you could add women in there too, so you just gotta be politically correct these days. But get ready early. And if you do, you'll thank me later. Hey, thanks for joining me for another What Now? What's next? Well, that's up to you. See you next time. With that being said, if you liked anything I just said, check this video out right here. It's called 2025. It's literally a look back and a look forward.